Hello, good morning, and many thanks indeed for joining us here on Morning Prime. I trust that you had a lovely restorative night. It is another new day, 28th of April 2023. My name is Debala Nair, and today is Uongozi Day. We have Uongozi Today coming your way every Friday, where we take a keen analysis on the leadership in the country and different facets of society. Primarily right now that we have the Shakahola massacre, that everyone is raising accusatory finger towards each other. So who is to blame? Who should have taken the responsibility? Has the church failed the laity in terms of teaching them the right doctrine as far as the canon of the Bible is concerned? We shall be looking at that and a raft of other issues as well. We have also the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, who will be back today, and there will be a rally at Kibra. So this is just back to where we were before as far as bipartisan talks are concerned, which have significantly failed. So what is the way forward as far as these talks are concerned? I'm joined this morning by Churchill Suba, who is the Executive Director of Kenya National Civil Society Center. Also, we have with us Governors and Policy Analyst Kipruto Arap Kirwa. We'll be joined much later by Martin Olonzo, an advocate of the High Court, and also we'll be joined by Dr. Oliver Kisaka, who is the CEO of Corat Africa. Right, let's put this horse into a full run by looking at what we have in the dailies, and we shall be also picking the brains of our panelists this morning. We begin with the bold paper, where we have another cleric who is in the dock right now, so to speak. Another cleric who was robbed, I should say, of a mass death. This is what is headlining the front page of the Standard. And it says the flamboyant tele-evangelist Ezekiel Odero arrested in new quote-unquote mass killings probe as state expands scope of investigations in Shakahola. Death toll rose by 12 to 110, with children bearing the brunt of the madness. You have the story on page 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the Standard today, where this story is well laid out for you. 110 is the total deaths in Shakahola cult massacre as at yesterday, after 12 more bodies were retrieved from shallow graves, 6 of them belonging to children. And we have also the Deputy President's wife speaking here and saying, if Paul Mackenzie is a criminal, he should be treated as an individual, even his family should not be part of his crime. Paul Mackenzie is not the church. In fact, he has said he is not a pastor, but he's Mr. Paul. Well, Mr. Paul was also leading a flock. And that is a story that you can follow inside the Standard this morning. State goes after Uhuru's NCBA bank tax waiver. That story is tucked away on page 6 of the Standard. Economy projected to grow 6.1%. That is on page 19. Will it really reflect on your pockets? And Kenya's 1 trillion shilling debt headache. How do we navigate the choppy waters right now that we are in as far as the shackles of debt is concerned, tightening the news on us? And who will stop cities? A treble hand? That is a probing question. Everyone is looking forward to that particular game. Paul's magazine comes in handy for you every Friday. Pre-game rituals, read all about it. And righting a wrong. Man freed after 11 years in jail. Read all about this man inside the Standard on page 12, righting the wrong. We have the Daily Nation. Raila returns to Ruto checkmate as a splash this morning. And you have strategy. President's camp hastily seals coalition deal to bring opposition party into its fold. That is what the flag is reading on top here. Game plan. Opposition leader Raila Odinga flies back to the country today for a grand rally to address the political crisis that deepened after bipartisan talks stalled, even as President William Ruto swiftly executed a counter-strategy to corner him. You have the story on page 7 of the Daily Nation today. Pastor Ezekiel arrested as police probe cult. That's detectives arrested televangelist Ezekiel Odero, the leader of New Life Prayer Center, at his lavish 65-acre Mavueni home in Kilifi County, as he was allegedly preparing to travel to Tanzania. Pastor Ezekiel's 45,000 capacity church was also closed down, and over 100 people holed up at the church evacuated. That was at the New Life Prayer Center that you saw still is under construction as well. Households, tea farmers rip big in 3.5 trillion shillings budget. County government are also expected to receive their highest ever annual allocations at 429.7 billion shillings. The government will release 385.4 billion shillings from the national cake, with an additional 43.7 billion shillings following in from conditional grants and other shareables revenue. All this is tucked away inside the Daily Nation. Just looking also on the side by Justice, Solai Dam disaster suspects have a case to answer. This is what the court is saying. Families affected by the 2018 Solai Dam tragedy have won the first round of a vicious court battle in which 9 suspects, including the dam's owner, are in the dock on charges of causing the deaths of 48 people. This is tucked away on page 12 of the Daily Nation this morning. The Voice, my network, also comes in handy for you every Friday. And court blocks Treasury's 900 million shillings tax demand in NCBA row. That is a story that is on the back page of the Daily Nation this morning. And we can pick that tab also on the front page of the Star, where it's a splash. Kenyatta family bank hit as KRA demands $1 billion. NCBA dashes to court seeking intervention, talks with CS Dongo. This is the step that he took. That is what the flagger is reading here. And Treasury revokes tax waiver extended to NIC and CBA banks in 2019 merger. That you can follow on page 2 of the Star. Pastor Ezekiel arrested for suspected deaths, and you can see him here being led to Coast Regional Police Headquarters after he was arrested on Thursday. Ruto raids Azimio as state court accused of killing parties. President Ruto has continued to raid the opposition even as he comes under attack for allegedly killing rival parties and stifling multi-party democracy. His Kenya Kwanza coalition signed the deal with the Kenya Union Party, an opposition outfit. This story is tucked on page 3, and why Malindi family evicted Mackenzie from their property. Paul Mackenzie, who is at the center of the horrific deaths of at least 100 of his followers, was evicted from the land where he set up his first church in Malindi. He was given a parcel of land at Kisumu Ndogo in Malindi to set up a church, but fell out with the family after accusing them of witchcraft. And budget state cuts borrowing plans to raise 3.6 trillion shillings. Taxpayers are in for a major raid by the government as it plans to raise more money to fund the 3.6 trillion shillings budget for the next financial year starting July. The Kenya Kwanza administration has increased recurrent expenditure while cutting its development budget for 2023-2024 financial year. That is on page 12 of the Star this morning. And the Siasa Pullard magazine that will usher you into the weekend in the Star is focusing on the cult menace. Authorities saw danger, but their hands were tied. And you know, right now we have also a committee that has been set up in the Senate to try and interrogate this probing, niggling worry of cults that is mushrooming or has been there in the country, but we have slipping and it's caught us by surprise. Who will get what? These are the budget of promises on the front page of the People Daily. Who will get what? The Kenya Kwanza administration has outlined its spending plan for its full financial year in office, pledging to spend more on education, even as it projects the tax collection will rise to 2.9 trillion shillings. However, it also offers some reliefs. And you have a tabulation here, or illustration, so to speak, on tax and spend plans. Total budget is 3.6 trillion shillings. This has actually risen from the previous administration's budget. 2.5 trillion shillings. This will be spent on recurrent. We have 700 billion shillings. This is tucked away for development. Recurrent consuming large amount of that. 2.2 trillion shillings. This will go to the executive. 906 billion shillings on consolidated fund service. 385 billion shillings to counties. And we have 268 billion shillings bottom-up agenda, 40 billion shillings legislature, 23 billion shillings judiciary. We wonder if this 385 billion shillings will still be doled out to the counties because of the cash crunch. Right now, we know they were given ultimatum by the Council of Governors, but within 2 weeks, if nothing really comes forth to the accounts, then there will be a paralysis on the operations of the counties. But right now we saw the government responding. The Treasury will be disbursing at least 32 billion shillings. Biggest winner here, or winners, education sector, where 568.9 billion shillings will be salted away in the accounts. Also national security, that is 33.8 billion shillings, will be also stashed away on that particular account. Roads, 239.5 billion shillings. Health sector, 125.5 billion shillings. Environmental protection, water and natural resources, 105.1 billion shillings. That is a budget of promises as far as People Daily is concerned. Pastor Ezekiel's arrest over cults links leaves his allies in a bind. That is a story you want to follow inside the People Daily. Also wary of burning their fingers, Kenyans shun off-plan homes. Wary of burning their fingers, Kenyans shun off-plan homes, right? The off-plan buying seems now to be not really working as far as promises are concerned. You stash in your money, but you never get your worth for the money or that particular ownership of the house. While world economy should ditch dollar, right? We can see the world economy ditching the dollar as it is. The reason is from Argentina and China, where they will be using the renminbi. The renminbi will be what they will use instead of the dollar. Taifa leo, Raila arudi na joto la maandamano. Raila arudi na joto la maandamano. Maandalizi ya kumpokea kiongozi huyo yakamilika. Wandai asema Odinga atafanya tangazo muhimu leo. Kinara wa Azimio Raila Odinga leo anatarajiwa kutoa mwelekeo mpya kuhusu mkondo wa maandamano pindi baada ya kuwasili nchini kutoka Dubai. And you can follow this story on page 3 of Taifa Leo and People Daily. Regulator allowed to install mobile money spying gadget. Right now, you're not so sure about who is now snooping on your phone because it seems the regulator has been given a thumbs up and green lights to actually be spying on your phone. The Apex Court dismisses appeal seeking to stop CA beat. Remember, the CA was seeking to actually have a spy gadget that will be looking at all the transactions on your phone. It will access records, location, mobile cash deals. It says here, let me just read a bit of it, that the communications regulator has received the nod of the Supreme Court to install a device on mobile phone networks to detect counterfeits amid concerns. It will give the watchdog access to other customer data, including calls, messages, financial transaction. The Apex Court has dismissed a second appeal seeking to stop the Communications Authority of Kenya from rolling out the device management system, that is DMS, which telcos reckon will offer the state a window to snoop on subscribers. Now remember, this has been there before when they wanted to install this phone bagging gadget, and it was roundly protested against. But now it seems the government or the Supreme Court has given a thumbs up. What does it do to the security and the privacy of an individual as far as data protection is concerned? Martin Law will give us the legal aspect of this, and also we shall discuss on matters of how the civil society will arise on this policy matter. Kiprota Rabkirwa will give us, is the government really overplaying its hands on this, right? Is the government really overplaying its hands on this? And a good case will be the Escobar. When on Narcos, what was the name of Escobar? Yes, if you may remember Escobar, and the way also, I think it was Apple, they wanted to get some information from the Apple phone of Pablo Escobar. But it was a big debate because Apple are bound by their contractual agreement with their clients that the privacy is of the highest priority as far as the customer relations is concerned, and that one they could not even give out to the FBI. But here we are. So what does it really mean? We shall look at this as well. Martin Olo will tell us, and Churchill Suber, and also Kiprota Rabkirwa and Dr. Oliver Kisaka. In Uganda, this is what is happening. MPs blow off America in anti-gay law battle. Remember, this has been ongoing, and the parliament passed a very strict, as they say, draconian law, how the world has received it. There is a red line. A section of legislators say Washington should continue supporting HIV/AIDS care and treatment if their assistance was altruistic, but withdraw the money if the purpose was to push homosexuality agenda, so was the money really coming in good faith, or was it also to steamroll other issues as well as an underbelly with that? And this is what is on the front page of the People Daily, or the Daily Monitor in Uganda. Janet praises Aga Khan on education and health. Of course, that is the education minister and the Aga Khan Foundation there, Kampala campus, construction, commencement there, ceremony. As you can see it, you can read all about it inside the Daily Monitor in Uganda. Speaker storms CPS as Tayebwa blast police over brutality. And you saw the protest yesterday in Uganda. You can see how the police were really pulling also the women by their hairs there, yanking their hair and trying to put them into the police trucks inside to take them to police stations. In Rwanda, this is what is happening. Refugee quiz diplomats on terrible DR Congo crisis. For decades, the UN has been accused of turning, I should say, a blind eye to the persecution of DR Congo's Rwandophones. You can follow the story on page 3. President Kagame in Tanzania for 2-day state visit. And you can see him holding court with President Samia Suluhu Hassan at State House, Dar es Salaam on Thursday, April 27th. Kagame, who is in the country on a 2-day state visit, said during a press briefing that Rwanda and Tanzania's bond of friendship and cooperation are deeply rooted in a common aspiration to improve the lives of the two countries' citizens. And by the way, President William Ruto also was in Uganda yesterday, trying to make sure that that conversation regarding Somalia and the current state of play was being streamlined together with Yoweri Museveni. And this was happening in also Tanzania. Remains of genocide victims discovered around Mibilizi Catholic Church Parish. Remains of genocide victims discovered around Mibilizi Catholic Church Parish. And you can see digging up the graves after more than almost 25 years. Is that it, Churchill? Still remains are coming up. Over 100 illegal mines identified as accidents kill 429 in 5 years. That is a story to want to follow inside the New Times. The East African has been holding this for us, cost of the Sudan crisis. The trade disruption is massive, with Juba facing economic ruin as all exports disrupted. Meanwhile, a refugee problem looms, trickling into South Sudan. And this is bound to be also a niggling worry for us here as a country. Will we absorb the refugee, aviation disruption, different sectors? You can see how it is affecting different sectors of the economy: aviation, refugee crisis, Nile, water dispute, new proxy war, trade disruption, diplomatic dilemma. This is the current state of play. Kenya calls for Eurobond advisors in new quest on page 5. Where is Burundi's ex-premier? That is a probing question. The Tanzania, where he is alleged to be, says he has not been seen, as Bujumbura authorities haunt him down. That is East African. Today's editorials. This is where I want to rope in Kipruto Rapkirwa. Red carpet. Where is it leading today? We can see one going to Kibra, one going to CBD, and one going to Karen. He's chosen to actually... Is that the sufuria? Now, we don't know if it's a Fedora cup or is a sufuria there. The sufuria... Is that a sufuria being kicked towards Kibra? Kipruto Rapkirwa. Resumption of demonstrations of the rallies is today. He jets back.